Okay, children, if you remember yesterday in the story, Mary had walked along the corridor and Mrs. Medlock had found her and pushed her back, so she wasn't able to find out where this mystery noise was or what was behind the tapestry and the mystery door. So today we're going to read chapter 4. 2 days after this, when Mary opened her eyes, she sat upright in bed immediately. Look at the moor! The rainstorm had ended and a brilliant deep blue sky arched half over the moorland. Aye, said Martha, the springtime's on its way. She went away in high spirits as soon as she had given Mary her breakfast, and Mary felt lonelier than ever. She went out into the garden as quickly as possible. She went first into the kitchen garden and found Ben Weatherstaff working there with 2 other gardeners. Springtime's coming, he said. Cannot thou smell it? Mary sniffed. That's that good rich earth. It's in a good humour making ready to grow things. Very soon she heard the soft rustling flight of the robin. He hopped about close to her feet and put his head on one side and looked at her shyly. Do you think he remembers me? Remembers thee? He's never seen a little wench here before, and he's bent on finding out all about thee. She heard a chirp and a twitter, and when she looked at the bare flower bed at her left side, there he was hopping about. You do remember me, she cried out. You do, you do. You are prettier than anything else in the world. The flower bed was bare of flowers, but there were shrubs at the back, and the robin hopped about under them. She saw him hop over something almost buried in the soil. It was a ring of rusty iron or brass, and when the robin flew up into the tree nearby, she picked the ring up. It was more than a ring, however. It was an old key. She looked at the key quite a long time and thought about the closed garden. It was because it had been shut up so long that she wanted to see it. Besides that, if she liked it, she could go into it every day and shut the door behind her, and nobody would ever know where she was, but would think the door was still locked and the key buried in the earth. Mrs. Medlock had allowed Martha to sleep all night at the cottage, but she was back at work in the morning and was full of stories of her day out. I've bought thee a present. A present? She brought it out from under her apron. It was a strong, slender rope with a striped handle and a red and blue handle at each end. What's it for? For? This is what's it's for. And Martha began to skip. It looks nice. Do you think I could ever skip like that? You just try it, Martha. Thank you. The sun was shining and a little wind was blowing in delightful little gusts. Mary skipped around all the gardens and around the orchard. She stopped with a little laugh of pleasure, and there, lo and behold, was the robin swaying on a long branch of ivy, and he greeted her with a chirp. You showed me where the key was yesterday, she said. You ought to show me the door today. The robin flew onto the top of the wall, and he opened his big beak and sang a long, loud thrill. Mary Lennox had heard a great deal about magic in the Ayah's story, and she always said that what happened at that moment was magic. The wind rushed down the walk, and it was strong enough to wave the branches of the trees. Mary had stepped close to the robin, and suddenly the gust of wind swung aside some loose ivy trails, and more suddenly still she jumped towards it and caught it in her hands, because she had seen something underneath it. It was the knob of a door. She put her hand in her pocket, drew out the key, and found it fitted to the keyhole. She turned it. She was inside the secret garden. And tomorrow we'll find out what happens next and what the secret garden is like.